do something really crazy and record myself cooking. I have a couple of friends who asked for my recipes, and when I told them over the phone, they just didn't know how to put it together. So I decided, what the heck, I'm gonna try it. So today what we're gonna make is stuffed chicken legs with grilled peppers, which are absolutely awesome. Stoli, behave, I'm recording. Okay, so basically what we're gonna do is I bought the chicken legs, it's the quarter chicken that I marinated. Now I don't really stress about marinating anything. Whatever I have in the house, this is what I marinated in. This was just balsamic vinegar, a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper, and I put them in the plastic bags and I throw them in the refrigerator overnight. And if I don't use it the next day, I just put it in the freezer. The great thing about it, when it defrosts, it marinates itself again and becomes very, very juicy. Really didn't have a lot of stuff. I didn't have time to go to the supermarket. So what I did is I had some portobello mushrooms, which I cut up, and I'm sauteing them now. I'm also going to saute some onions. And I don't know this old trick in the book, but it works really well. If you peel the onion completely and put it in the freezer for 5-10 minutes, like I did, when you take it out and you start chopping it, you're not going to be crying. Now, for me, that's a really great thing. I don't like to cry because of the onion or for any other reason. So once we cut up the onion, we'll saute the onion and we'll mush them all together. I do not follow any recipes, but I'm not gonna leave you hanging. I'm gonna give you some guidelines. And the important thing to make good food is never to be afraid to screw up. Because if you ever screw up, and believe me, I screwed up many times, as long as you have hot sauce, enough salt and pepper, and some butter, you can make anything taste pretty damn good. Okay, so we have the mushrooms that are sauteing. I'd like to always do the onions separately, and I like to do my onions with butter instead of olive oil. Why? I don't know why, because that's the way my grandmother taught me, and that's the way I've been doing it. And I kind of used to it, and I think it makes them a little bit more golden brownish, and I just like it. Now, if you don't have portobello mushrooms or porcini mushrooms, you can use any other mushrooms, or you can use a sausage. You can use cornbread stuffing. You can use that. Basically, whatever you have. Now, Trader Joe's is my favorite store, and I always like to keep things in the house to spice it up. Now, this is pesto sauce. I always have pesto sauce in the refrigerator. My family likes pesto, so I just added a spoon of pesto sauce. And I'm just going to give it a little kick. So the mushrooms are now ready. Now we go for the onions. I just put in half of the onion because that's all I think I'm going to need for this recipe. Now, I've never done this before recording, so bear with me. And if it looks stupid to you, I'd like to hear from you. I'm really excited because in about 3 hours, all of us are meeting for that hot chocolate chat. And I'll be looking forward to that. I'd like to know how that's going to go. Okay, I also have some fresh spinach that I am going to wilt. And the way you wilt spinach, since I can't follow any recipe really, I just do my own. So, and just because I'm not afraid to screw it up. And I don't like to wash dishes, so I reuse. The mushrooms will stay. And I'm going to put a little piece of butter. And I'm going to put my spinach there. high fire, because if you have it on a high fire, then the onions burn. That is not a good thing. Okay, I wish you could see this closer, but basically it's been about a minute, and the spinach is wilted, or I call it a little bit fried or sauteed, and I put it right with the mushrooms. And I'm gonna add just a little bit of carrots. I'm gonna put the carrots actually with the onions, just so it looks nice. I think I need some butter. Now I never said I make very fat-free food. I'm not into the fat-free cooking, as you can see. But I make good food. And I figure if I'm gonna spend the time cooking, I'd like to enjoy it. So non-fat does not fly, unless I'm steaming myself some non-fat milk to make the foam. Okay, so this is almost over. It's nice and golden. So we have the mushrooms. I'm kind of, just since they're wilted, I just mix them up, chop them up with my knife here. Now one thing I forgot to put out was the salt and pepper. So just add, some salt, some pepper. Everybody likes, I've noticed that as I've gotten older, I require a lot more salt. I know it's not a good thing, but that's how it is. So my onions are now golden. I'm gonna add them here. All of it is looking nice. Chop them up again. I like to add some Parmesan cheese. Don't worry, you don't have to keep track of this. I'm gonna put it in the recipe. Okay. So now here comes the kicker. If it tastes good now, it will taste good when it's baked. I like to add breadcrumbs. And I use anything I have. I'm really not particular about many things when it comes to cooking. So you just add some breadcrumbs. It smells delicious. Okay, now we try. Now, if it was for me, I'd put a little bit more salt, but I know that not everybody likes so much salt. So I'm just gonna leave it as that, or maybe just a little bit. Okay, it is very easy to stuff the chicken. All you need to do is you take the chicken, and as you see, it's a quarter of a chicken. And all you do is you take the stuffing and you put it inside. I mean, you can't really screw up. Okay. So it becomes, it looks like it's a little pregnant here. And basically that's all you do. Now the chicken's been marinated. What I like to do is I'd like to put 3 or 4 pieces, put some paprika on it so it looks reddish. In the oven for 350 for about 45 minutes to an hour, and it's done. And it looks beautiful. Once it's cooked, I am going to show you how it comes out, but I just wanted you to see that it's very, very easy to stuff the chicken. So really, really, really easy. So I'm gonna do one more, and then we'll go to peppers. And I have to say that peppers are my signature dish. Everybody loves them, and they are so easy to make, and they look so difficult. So with peppers, there's a couple of things to remember. One thing to remember is this is your recipe, this is your peppers, this is your kitchen. Therefore, have fun with it. So you take the peppers, you slice them, and what I do is I take all the bad stuff, and all I do is I actually, cut them lengthwise, and depends how much peppers I have. Now this time I have a lot of peppers. So what I do is I'm gonna cut them in a little bit smaller pieces. Okay, and I'm gonna take a dish. Put the chicken there. Okay, so I'm gonna put this. I like to mix the red and the yellow peppers because it looks really nice when it comes out, real festive, especially around Christmas when we're looking for the color. Now, do you guys see how easy this is? I cannot tell you how delicious this is. It is so good and it is so healthy. Okay? So don't be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. You are not on the Iron Chef show. You are not getting graded. This is for your family, your friends, and for you. Cooking is something you have to enjoy. It is not a chore. And if it's a chore, then call me and I'll explain to you how to do it otherwise, because it's supposed to be fun. The only reason it's a chore is because you're not sure and you're afraid to screw up. Okay, so I'm not gonna cup up all the peppers, but you get the idea. What I do is I put salt. I don't usually put pepper. I put extra virgin olive oil. Now, I don't really use expensive olive oil for this because it doesn't need it. The secret here is Kirkland Signature Balsamic Vinegar in Costco. This whole thing costs about $12, but it's the best balsamic vinegar. All you do, you put it in there, you mix it up. I like for it to marinate for about an hour, and I put it into a hot oven under broil at 400 for about an hour. I guarantee you it is the most delicious thing you've ever had. Okay, I'm gonna stop now, and once we take it out of the oven, we're gonna redo. Okay, so I put the chicken into this dish and put some paprika like I told you, and just stuffed all three of them into this pot, and I'm putting it into the oven at 350. Now this little thing is done, and salt and olive oil and vinegar. It looks beautiful, and it goes, not, I said before 400, but I like to put it 450. 450 under broil, and it's just gonna stay there for an hour, and I'll be back. Okay, let's see. Oh, nice. So we have the peppers, and this is how they look like. I'm gonna transfer them to this nice bowl, and they're gonna look lovely here. As for the chicken, okay, it's a little, to make it look really nice, I like to put a little orange so it's really nice and juicy. Okay. Alrighty, and I'm just gonna put in back for a few more minutes and it's done. And this goes right to the table. I have a couple of pita breads which I'm going to make pita chips for the salsa I made. And that's that. Dinner served. Okay, and this is the finished product, the peppers. voila.